This free acrylic tutorial is being brought to you by the Ginger Cook Academy of Fine Art and Acrylic Painting and contributions from caring viewers like you. Now, on with the
Hi,
show.
you guys. This is Ginger Cook, and I'm telling you what, I had the most brilliant idea today. It hit me that what we needed to show you how to do was how to take a painting that you'd already painted, maybe it's a fall or summer scene, and how to turn it and change the seasons on it. Maybe you're going to turn fall to summer. Maybe in this case, today we're going to take a fall scene and turn it into winter. I'm going to show you the principles behind how to do that. And then it might be fun to just go through your collection and maybe you have a painting you really like and you think, what would happen if we just a landscape or seascape you want to drop, change the seasons. So we're going to just invite you to follow along. I'm going to show you, you're going to learn a few things. First off, you're going to want to change your picture into a black and white image. We're going to put the colored picture that I'm changing up in the right hand corner of this video, and then we'll switch it over to black and white. We'll start off with color, and then as I paint along, because I will be referring to a black and white photo to do this. I'm just showing you what we took it from. Now this particular painting, with the golden background and the water, was one of our most popular videos in 2018 on YouTube. Really was. People absolutely love this. So I'm going to show you. Let's see if we can't make another memorable video that people are going to love, that you're going to love, and that you'll want to you want to try this. You're going to want to try this. But before you do that, make sure you subscribe to our channel. Thank you very much, and let's get started. If we can just bring the video camera down to the table, please. Oh, you didn't have me. So I'm talking to the camera. There's nobody here. This is great. All right. Well, down here, then I'm pointing here. All right. So I'm sorry. Sometimes if I tell you what, you want to know a secret, you guys? Sometimes I want to shoot a video and I don't feel like putting makeup on and combing my hair. I want to stay in my pajamas and do it. So therefore, you don't get to see me. But we're doing this anyway. Okay. So here's the picture that we're going to do. So the first thing I've got sort of this was just some leftover paint. It's got a little bit of a red and white, kind of a peach color and some yellow background. But you really just a pale yellow background if you're starting from scratch. A little 8x10 canvas. All right. We'll get this out of the way. Now here's my black and white sketch. So what I know is I'm going to go ahead and start with my V here. Come on down. Here's where my water is going to be, like that. And let's see, my waterfall is pretty narrow here. And it's kind of come on up in sort of a zigzaggy Z, about like that. And I bet I'm pretty close. Should we check it with measurements? I just sort of eyeballed that in. But let's just see how close I got. So the bank starts about 2 inches from the top. I think I did 2.5, but really, no, that was a bush. I was right. And this one starts about 3. How did I do over here? 3. Yeah, pretty close. All right. Then how up for the water? How up are we for the water? About 2.25. 2.25. Pretty close. And how about over here? How close are we to there? Like across here from this point? About 5 inches. It's a little over. I'm over a little further here, but I can make adjustments. But basically, I've got and then what is the image from the top down to that V is about 4 inches. Ha! Do you see that? This is when you get good at sort of eyeballing things in. But if you're not sure, just do a little quick grid. All right. So what do I know for sure? I know that I need this sort of golden background, and while it's fun, I could probably use this. We won't. I'll assume you don't have this, so we're going to start with a little yellow oxide, assuming I can get some out. Oh yeah, I have to take the thing off of this. Okay, here we go. People always ask me about these flip-top caps of Matisse, and they're fine unless they're clogged, and then they're not so great anymore. Like little cement tops. So, all right, so there's some of that, and let's see, we want white. That's yellow oxide, in case you were wondering what some of that meant. It's been a long day. I'm telling you what, I'm feeling very good about the day. Oh, I got a lot done. You know what I got today? You guys want to know what I got? I got this cool shoe rack for all my Crocs. And I think, how many pairs of Crocs do I have, John?
Too many.
Too many. It says I have too many. but they were all on the floor of my closet. Now I've got them all picked up. So come on, that's somewhat impressive. I'm going to use a color called Quadrichrome Gold from Holbein. If you don't have that, you can use Australia Sienna from Matisse, or you can use Azo Gold from Golden Paint. So that's your choices. This is a transparent burnt sienna kind of gold color. If you don't have any of those and you don't feel like running to the store, you could use a little burnt sienna and a little glazing medium. How's that? So let's start with I know that I want my sky to be here. Now I've got a bunch of, in this picture, I've got a bunch of background trees. So because it's a winter scene, I'm going to change some of my trees. So I'm going to come in here just about like this and just put some X's here because that's going to be some trees. I'm going to change this just a hair. Now I'm going to dampen a brush, a little angle brush, start with white paint and a little bit of this Azo Gold color. Want to come up here like this. Wow, that's kind of bright yellow. Really makes a nice bright yellow, doesn't it, when you do this? There we go. I'm just going to come on over this part of the picture with this gold color. And it's such a pretty picture. It's just, I mean, such a pretty color. And as I come up this way, maybe I'll have a little bit more, a little darker, but little tiny bit of white here. This is a really, if you want something that says bright sun, this is it, you know, kind of. And because I'm doing this over a light background, it's pretty effective. Let's see, here's a little bit of light right in here where my tree line is going to be, okay? And I'll make this a little bit uneven, but I know I'm going to have a tree line here. Okay, now I have not seen the final. You have seen in the thumbnail, you're going to actually see the final picture. I have no idea what it's going to be. I'm making this up as I go. All right, so I know I'm going to have some of this in here, a little bit of this color in here. I just have to say this is where my water's going, as long as I've got the paintbrush dirty, right? Now, let's see. The other color I want to put out right now is burnt sienna, the actual burnt sienna color, and then you'll be able to see the difference, okay? And maybe a little tiny bit of ultramarine blue. Ultramarine blue and burnt sienna make a very nice dark brown. Let me just put a little more of that out. Ultramarine blue. And then, let's see, what else do we got? I've got to put the cap back on this. All right, you just stay there for a minute. I can't deal with you. Then let's see, what else did I want? Oh, Dazzling Purple. That was the, you'll see, I use that color a lot, Dazzling Purple. And here it is. The trick is, make sure that you have the back of your paint tube painted with the color. Then if it's upside down, you can still find it. All right, so you got that. All right, so there we go. All right, so that's my, this is what I've got. Here's a little bit of burnt sienna because I know that I want the dark part of this pond to where the shadow was in the original painting. I still want this dark in here, down in here like this. I'm going to do that. And a little bit of this Azo Gold, this you know, translucent color. A little bit of white here. Just kind of use the side of your brush and blend all that together and just kind of smudge all this out. This is just our first layer. And it's giving me a sense of what I think I want. And of course I've got my waterfall coming down here like this. Notice the brush strokes have changed direction, right? Okay, so far so good. And then I've got a little purple. And what do I know for sure? Well, I know that right here, I had this pretty big rock right here, remember? In the other picture, I had a pretty good sized rock right here. So I might just put those in. Instead of having to use a hairdryer, here's a rock like that. I've got another rock like this. And let's see, and I'm just using the purple color. Let's see where, oh yeah, we had some rocks that sort of line this bank here, didn't we? We had some rocks in the stream. Let me just get my picture and see, where did I put all those rocks? Something like this. There was a rock here, like that. I'm just using purple and just saying, coming along here like this, along my waterfall, back here. And I think there was a couple smaller rocks along this bank. And then over here, because this was a nice big one, And I think I have this one here. And maybe we'll just do a couple here, like on the bank here. Here we go. So we're going to have some rocks along here. And this will be snow. And do we have any rocks back here? Just a couple, right? Just as long as we're doing it, right? Okay, so we're saying those are the rocks, and then here's a little bit of ultramarine blue and burnt sienna, and then here's we want this a little bit darker here, kind of blend this out. Now I'm going to rinse my brush, wipe it off on a rag, and then just with a damp brush sort of smudge out that line so it blends a little better. Just very gently, barely touch that, and kind of blend that out. Okay, so that's about, that's my distance from my palette. This is what my limit from my palette here. Let me just draw a line as far as you get to see the palette. I have a big palette, but that's all you get to see. Okay, so that's pretty good, right? And then we have a bank coming up along here that's, all right, so is this dry pretty much? Now you have to be careful because purple and yellow are complements, and if you want to have something go really muddy, start putting purple over wet yellow. So let's just dry everything. Let's just err on the safe side, dry everything. Well, you guys, I don't think I can look at another commercial about how to unstop the toilet, or maybe you two can learn to draw. That, we have to have those in our video in order to kind of cover some costs, but I thought it would be fun, as long as we were doing it, to put a commercial in for ourselves. So here's the commercial from me to you. I want you to have a wonderful day. I want you to be the artist you can be. I want you to get up in the morning and say, today's the day I'm going to be happier than I was yesterday. This is my commercial, and wishing you the bestest, happiest day of your life. And art hugs from John and I. Okay. All right, now we're going to put in some pine trees. And I'm going to start with the burnt sienna, the transparent sienna. And I want to come up here like this. And I'm just going to start tapping in my pine trees down into here like this. Up into the, so let's use the regular burnt sienna as we get further down into here like that. We're going to say that, and you want these to vary the height on these. We're saying there's some pine trees, but they all didn't grow at the same time. Some of them were struggling pine trees when others were happier in the sun. Maybe one got a bug or something. So if you try to paint them all at the same height, you're going to be, it will look weird. It's not a picket fence, so vary the height. Maybe you're going to bring this one up a little higher, see? Vary the height of what you've got. We're just sort of tapping in. We're just suggesting these are pine trees, and I'm just going to kind of fudge all this out here. Okay, we're just saying this is pine trees. Now here, let's put in a few more. Okay, like that. It's coming down in a slope. There's a couple right there, and then way in the background, let's use that transparent brown. Way in the background here, we're going to say there's some pine trees. Way back here, little pine trees. They got, they're like the do. All right, so we're going to say that, something up in here. There's some pine trees. Okay, like that. There we go. All right, so far so good. We've got those, and then we're going to come along here on this bank and suggest more pine trees. And you want to do the gold first, even though we're going to put some purple over this. You want these things to glow, so you've got to start with the gold first if you want your pine trees to glow. It's a little trick here. We're going to do that, and we're going to just paint all this. And as I get further down in here, I'll make this all darker. Again, I'm going to put purple over it. So maybe I'll start with a little bit of purple and ultramarine blue. Come on over here, because this is all going to be darker up in here. There we go. Here's where some pine trees are going to be coming up in here like that. Well, that's my plan anyway. This is all going to be darker. coming in here like this. This is the first layer of paint. Now what happens down here? Oh yeah, let's just come back in here with a little bit of brown just down toward our waterfall, which is kind of, here's our rock, and this really goes down to um, a V here in our bank. And then it sort of kind of disappears here too. So let me see. I think the next color I want is the magenta, I'm guessing. Because what I want to do is sort of just change this. I'm going to change this color scheme quite a bit. So let's put some magenta and white and a little bit of blue with it. Okay, ultramarine blue. I want to come in here like this and just play with these colors. I'm not sure where I'm going with that, but I'm going to just remind myself that I want a little of these kind of warm colors in here too, a little more magenta. Just going to stick some of these tones in here and then we'll dry it. Okay, how's that? Okay, there you go, something like that. So this is what we've got so far. And I'm going to come down about, let's see, let's take a little magenta and blue, come down about this far in here like this. This is all going to be, this is our snow kind of in shadow, I think. It's my plan anyway. I've got a plan. I know it's hard to believe, but I got a plan. And let's see, let's take a little bit of this white color, and I'm just going to kind of smudge this off like this. We'll paint over it, but I know this is going to be light next to the rocks. This is all going to be snow. Kind of just smudge that out. And because we got some trees in here that have got to go here. All right, so far so good. Now let's do that on the other side. Let's come back here on the top of this. Okay, a little bit of white, a little bit of magenta, a little bit of ultramarine blue, more magenta, rather more blue. Let's get a little more blue here. All right, so we're going to say all this is going to be snow here. So I'm sort of laying this out, right? So that I'm not confused. This is my main thing, is try not to confuse myself with what my plan is. Because I haven't really sketched much out, but it needs to make sense to me, and it needs to make sense to you. So we're going to say that all this is going to be purple, and I think that brush is a little small. Let's get a bigger brush and dampen it, wipe it off on a towel. All right, so we're going to say all of this is going to be purpley snow color of some kind, right? Some sort of blue, might be darker down in here. Okay, so already we've got a good start on this. See how we've changed this whole scene. Did we? Changed it pretty much. So, all right. So now, before I go much further than that, I need to dry all of this. If I'm happy with it, it's all going to get dried. Okay. So, I want to put in my dark purple pine trees. So a little bit of purple and magenta. And I want to come on up here like this and just start tapping those in. Let's see, some of these a little bit darker. Start with the darkest color first. You can always go back and lighten them. Now let's see if they're going to lighten the way I think they are. I'm going to switch brushes. I need these to lighten up a little bit. So I'm going to say that there's let's just start with white, because the white is going to mix with the wet paint. There we go. And I'm going to say these are my pine trees. And is the white going to work, or I'm going to have to dry it? I'm not sure. May have to dry it. I don't want just a tall thing sticking up there, so I've got to kind of, all right, there we go. So this is the first picture is fairly impressionistic, so I'm still trying to keep that impressionistic feel to it, but there's my first row of pine trees. I feel that's going to work. These are the background trees, like this. These are our background trees that are way back here, kind of tucked in here like this. And again, we're not talking that much about them. Let's start with a straight line, see if that helps. And just remember, pine trees are kind of wider down toward the bottom. There's a lot of different kinds of pine trees. Yours look different than mine. Maybe that's a different variety. There's hundreds of different kinds of pine trees after all. But basically, that's too much white paint. That's going to be from one of the forward ones. Okay, so just want to say that there's some pine trees back there. And I feel like that's going to work here. Let's see. Let's see, just got some lighter colors back here. The farther things are away, did you know that the farther things are away, the more obscure they are? So again, we're doing this fairly quickly, but we're just going to pop this on. We're not talking about, anything too drastic. Let's make this up a little taller. There's our trunk. And here's our, remember the boughs, you are always going to see the snow just falls on the top of these pine branches. So the underneath is always going to be dark and the top part of the branch is going to be light. Does that make sense? Okay, let's put a little color in here like that. So at some point, we're going to have to... Now let me just dry these and see if putting the white paint works a little better. Okay. Again, something that will take me a little longer. If I've painted something once before, the second time I do it, it's much faster. So now I'm still experimenting to see how I want to do this. I'm still not sure, but I know kind of the effect. I know the effect I'm going for. How's that? So let's see if I can. I'm just going to see if we can pull it off as easily as this. I'm really hoping so. All right, so those are those trees. I'm going to dry those one more time because these are my background trees, all right? Now, if I want to push these more in the background, what would happen if I took some zinc white, which is your transparent white, okay? That's your zinc white or your mixing white if you're using Liquitex. I'll put a little bit right there, okay? And this one is by Golden. I've had this forever. Usually I put the dates on when I buy things, but that's very handy. Okay, so we're going to try that and a little of this transparent gold color. So now we've really got some transparent paint. And we're going to go across these pine trees like this in the back and try to push them into the distance. Okay, like that. Just try to push these back. See how they just are sort of pushed in the background now? Isn't that cool? We just want to do the same thing here. Push these back. Because we're going to have another layer of trees in front of them. All right, same thing here. Just push these back. All right, so they're there. They're there for sure. You just got to go away a little bit more. You're there. Just going to push them back. And I think not sure about this tree right here, but I think it's okay. So we're going to have another tree that's going to get up taller than you. All right, so there you go. So we're just going to, that's kind of nice though. I like that sort of streaky stuff in the sky. That's pretty. All right, so there. All right, now we've really got, ooh, it's glowing, isn't it? All right, so that's what I wanted. This sort of purple and yellow are complements on the color wheel. So if you can play off those colors in a painting, you really have something. It's really a clever idea. As long as I'm in there, let me play with the water a bit more um, before I get too carried away. Here's the light and the water, and just play with that gold, the gold and the mixing white. Let's see, is that going to do it? Probably. I don't know if it's going to do enough or not. Zinc white and the mixing white. Or mixing white and the azo gold stuff, or the transparent part. There we go. Come on over here like this. Let's just play with this a little bit. Just get that. Oh yeah, just love that gold on the pond, right? And I'm just pure zinc white now, and get that in the front. I need that coming around here like this. And you'll notice that I'll have a little glob of it on the brush like this. And then as I zigzag the brush, I can kind of leave it around like this, like little ripples in the water. Maybe it's little bits of snow that have stayed up here. So that's what I'm going to just go around this rock too. There you go. So that's going to be and then here's a little bit of the burnt sienna, the translucent stuff. Just play with that a little bit. Ooh, pretty, huh? I think this will be a cool painting. I'm just all excited about this now. All right, so that's my water, and that's of course, I don't actually have the waterfall part yet, because I want to put the rocks, snow on the rocks and all that junk too. So, all right, so then my waterfall is the titanium white. Remember in this picture, the waterfall was your brightest thing. So I want to come down here like this with my waterfall over these rocks. There we go. I'm going to say there's my waterfall coming down. And well, this is titanium now. I want you to see the difference when we bring this down over the rocks. There we go, something like that. So there's the little sparkly water. Now let's make the whole thing work here. So, okay, so far so good, yeah? Yes and yes? All right, so we're going to take some purple and burnt sienna, and we're going to make some taller pine trees here. We had some big ones here, but we're gonna come up here and say, here's a tall pine tree, like that. Here's one here, like that. Maybe here's another one back here, like that. So these are tall pine trees. Boy, we better want them there too, because they're done, right? And I've got another kind of like a log that was falling on the other picture that was falling here. I'll put that. Okay, went across. And the same thing here. I want some taller, we're going to have maybe a taller pine tree right here. Here, that'll be a taller one. And then we're going to have some other trees that are coming up, but, that are not pine trees. But let's have some other trees like this coming up. Okay, that came in here somewhere. All right, so, okay, so far so good. All right, now what? Yeah, then I had a tree. So this is going to be a pine tree here, I think, and then I'm going to have a little shorter one right here. Let's start by making a dark green color, which is well, I don't know if I want it. I don't think I want to introduce green. Nope, don't want to do that. They're all going to be purple. Let's start with a purple blue color, right? And we're going to say that I'm going to say that right here is this pine tree. It's just going to be a big one right here, like that. I'm just going to come across like this. And as I come down here, I'm going to say that this is my dark purpley blue pine tree. And then this one, this is interesting. This pine tree the branches are coming out this way from this one. Remember, if the tree is looking at you, the branches are coming forward, and they're going to be longer in the front. So sometimes I'll put the trunk just so I can see where I've got to have the branches, because these in this case are going to be defined by the snow. Does that make sense? The snow is what's going to define this tree, not the uh, not the post, not the post. So here we go. This is coming across here. This is going to be a snowy branch like this. This is our pine tree. And where we're going to make this work is in, how this has got to work is in the, where we're putting the snow, okay? And the rocks. So let's just make all this dark here. I'm going to put a rock right here. Okay, so now, see if I'm right about that. I think I am, though. I'm guessing, but I feel like I'm right about that. How's that? And I think we said that if we said this was a pine tree here, that we're going to pull it using just the tip of this brush. Remember, the fronds get fatter as they go down. So it is not a herringbone thing where, definitely not a herringbone thing where like you see 3-year-olds make pine trees. Please don't do one of those. You all are much better than that. Okay, so far so good. I think that one's there, so we sure need one right here. Yeah, we're changing the picture. We're changing it a little bit. But I think we're keeping the essence of it, which is what I wanted to do. Try a little one in here like that. Okay, so we're getting some distance. See these gold ones in the back, right? Now we're saying that we're saying that all these are pine trees up here that are in this area. And then kind of in this whole thing back here, these are all pine trees. This is going to be coming down here like this. And then let's start playing with the white. A little bit of ultramarine blue, a little bit of white, tiny bit of purple, maybe a bit of magenta. Let's see. All right, so we've got this nice light purple color, more blue. All right, so I've got this sort of off-white color. Now let's start putting on the snow fell down. It fell, right? So where did it land? It landed on the top of this right here like that. That's where the snow had to go. Same thing here. And then it landed here. Remember, it's on top of the branches. You've got to let some of that dark stuff show through or it's going to look weird, right? And then if this is the front of this pine tree, and these are the boughs that are looking right at you, okay? There we go. Oh, pretty, right? Yes and yes. Okay, nice tree. Okay, let's do another one. Okay, so here we go. It's looking right at you here, right? These are the ones that are coming right across the tree. And as they get up, of course, it's smaller, but there we go. There we go, like that, smaller. How big of the tree is this? And now here we go. Let's put this in here like that. All right, so those are those pine trees. Now what happens? Well, we've got some back here too that are doing that. How about this tree? It's got snow fell on him too. He's back up here like this. Yes and yes. So there's him. All right, moving on. Oh, this is fun. Come on. This is a little fun, isn't it? I think the idea that you can take a painting and just change the seasons, wouldn't it be nice to just be able to look out the window and go, nope, I'm changing seasons without having to get on a jet plane and go to Hawaii, which of course you could, or, take a tour and go to Chile or something, cross the line there, and do somewhere else. All right, so there's that tree. Awesome. I do say so myself. Oh, you got to catch me in a good mood. I had a good night's sleep last night. One of the things I like to do is listen to my books on tape before I go to sleep. And then I fall asleep, and it drives John crazy because I won't remember that. I'll put the timer on for like the audiobook for like 30 minutes or something, and I'll be asleep in 5. And then I'll have to play it again, and Hewell might have heard the same book I've listened to once, or I remember it once. He's heard it like 1,000 times, you know. Just so funny. He's not as amused as me on this. Now, these ones I'm going to be less circumspect about, but we'll still put them in. We're going to suggest that there are definitely trees back here, and here's the snow pattern, right? Yes and yes, right? Didn't get too crazy with those. So now what? Ooh, well, I think we got a little high on the tip of this rock myself. So let's take a little bit of, let's warm the snow up a little bit and just pull the top of this rock down a little bit. That's the titanium white. Let's just pull the top of this rock down. There you go. All right, now what we need to have happen, okay, is gonna put some more purple around to see where we're at, right? But it's getting there, you guys. You got to admit we're getting there, okay? I want this snow to just, here we go. We're just gonna put a little more snow up this way. Remember, the brush strokes are everything. Let's come under this tree a bit, like that. We're gonna say here's our snowbank. Yeah, yes and yes. Okay, now, what? Oh yeah, we would have, if this was a snowbanky thing, which it is because we've changed seasons, right? We probably have a little bit of this snow on the water here like this. So maybe we'll put a little bit of snow here on the water like that. That's cool, right? Yeah, huh? Yeah, that looks good. I like that. We could do that. Okay, now what? Um, well, we got to do something about those guys. And then I think we need to lighten up. Remember we did the purple? Now we're going to go up. We're going to lighten stuff up just a bit. Let's turn on a few lights. Here we go. Let's lighten this one up a bit. Going to lighten up some of the snow here, right? Yeah. So it snow's not all the same color in our little picture. Okay, so we lightened up those, brought them to the foreground because we lightened them up. Okay. Now I'm going to just take a moment and dry everything. I really like what I've got, and I'm just going to take a moment and dry the whole shebang here. Okay, when somebody says, when you're going to the grocery store, would you pick me up? And then they'll name you 2 or 3 things, and you get back home and you have like one thing on your list, and you totally not only forgot their stuff, but half the stuff you did because you didn't write it down. Well, what happens is that when you get a lot of information, the human mind only can absorb so much. But there are certain things as artists that you really need to have. It's just goes beyond memory. It needs to almost be in muscle memory. How to get muscle memory on things where it's just, you don't have to think about it any more than you think about releasing the brake shift on your car when you're driving if you've put it in park. So this is the kind of information that we're featuring in our new vlog series, and you'll notice that the thumbnail will be all the same. It's a picture of me, and then on the right hand side of the thumbnail will be the topic. 5 to 8 minutes of information that you're going to want to know, put in a playlist, and really be able to refer to the point where you just, you'll know how to do ovals. You'll know what color the houses and buildings should be if you're painting at dusk. We're going to show you all kinds of stuff like that, and I want you to just be aware that weekly, look out for this thumbnail, and just take 5 to 8 minutes and really expand your art education. I think you're going to love it. And also, we want to know some of the things you want to know in our video vlogs, so be sure to comment below and tell us what you'd like to learn. Okay, so now what? All right, so I've got this log going across here. Let's put a little snow on our log, like that, because there definitely was a log going across like that. And probably should put a little bit of water underneath it, right? Okay. So here's a little bit of water running underneath our log here like that, coming down like that. Stream's coming back that way somehow. All right, so now I want to I've got, I want to say that the snow, and this is where we're going to have fun with this, we're going to take the white and a little bit of this yellow color, which is this one right here, but more white, okay? Kind of an off-white. We're going to say that there's some light coming back here between from the trees, right? Kind of back this way. We're going to say that there's some light snow on the top of this rock. It's got a mound here. You wouldn't see, there you go. There's a little bit more of this color here on the edge, right on the top of this rock, and there might be a little bit of light peeking through the trees here. Do we have something peeking through? Okay, and we're going to say that this snow right here, just in this part, is light. I always say don't eat yellow snow. Um, it's so funny. As a teenager, went to boarding school in Switzerland, and sometimes there was a trail we could take going home, and every once in a while you'd see little piles of yellow snow, and you'd know some guy had been there, just decided to take a leak on the snow, and it was just, when you're 15, you're just so grossed out by all of that. Oh no, right? And then you want to hear a funny story. I mean, I'll tell it to you anyway. I don't know if you'll think it's funny, but so my girlfriends, there were three of us, we were skiing back. We were like 15, 16, and we were skiing back from our classes back to the chalet. Now, no kidding. Boarding school in Switzerland, they moved the whole school up to the mountains here, and we took ski class every other day. And then we'd ski back to the school, which is up there in the mountains. Yep. So, anyway, we were on our little trail, private trail, and I'm going to lighten the snow up here as I'm telling you this great story. So, we're coming along, and we have spied one of these little piles of snow there with the little yellow snow, okay? And then pretty soon, just not a minute or two after that, this really amazingly good-looking young skier comes out of the woods. And it's obviously that for some reason we have decided that this pile of yellow snow belongs to him. And then, we were pretty cute at 16. I got to tell you, we all were, right? My friend Tracy Griswold and I'm telling you what, we were cute. Tracy's still alive, I'll tell you hi. Anyway, that's a terrible thing, but you don't never know if your friends are still living at this point in your life. But anyway, so Tracy and I forget who the other girl's name was. Sorry if you remember and I don't. It's just anyway. So she was. The guy wanted to. He said hi, and Tracy could still speak very good French. My French really sucked. I was still learning. And Tracy had been there the year before, and her French wasn't shabby. And of course, she wanted to talk to him, so we were talking. So he wanted to introduce himself. So he starts to take off his ski glove to shake our hand, and nobody wants to touch his hand. Nobody wants to say why they don't want. We don't want to look like terrible Americans. And no, honestly, we were all trying to decide why none of us would shake his hand. I think he was very puzzled by that. I don't think he understood why we didn't want to shake his hand. But anyway, that was our funny story with the skier. And then one of the things we would do is that there was in the town, with the town, if we didn't have to be back to class right away, we could ski down to the town, and then we had to take a taxi to get back up. I'll chip in to take a taxi, and there was like a disco downtown, like at this bar, where they didn't care how old you were. David Niven's sons, David Niven, if anybody remembers that actor, his son was going to one of the boarding schools there in Switzerland, and I remember being at the bar and dancing with him, and we all liked going down there. We didn't drink, of course, but we'd go down there and dance, and the school didn't seem to mind. But we had to be back in time for before they figured out we were gone. I don't know that. I guess they knew we were doing it, and I'm just trying to think what it was that I remembered the most about doing that was uh, I think what I remembered. Let's just put a little purple here where this rock is. Was the besides the dancing, there was this vendor, this street vendor, and he had some really excellent, um, excellent. He made these pancakes in the street, crepes, and with jam. And those were good, boy. Anyway. That was our little claim to fame there um, with the school, our skiing. We all became very good skiers. I was pretty good anyway. I'd gone to ski camp from the time I was a small child. My parents had sent me off to camp to learn to do things. Apparently, that was what people did in those days. When you adopted children, didn't know what to do with them. You found camps that would take them at every opportunity. And I'm not complaining, I'm just saying that's how it was. Does that make sense? I don't want to sound like I'm complaining. I'm really not. Just that's just how it was. Hey, you guys, isn't this coming along kind of good? I mean, you got to admit this is. I'm having fun with this. I mean, I feel like we're really. I mean, we've turned this into just really, really a cool painting. I think I need to come up a little higher here. Well, we haven't put this other tree in yet, so that goes in here. But I feel like after looking at this, I feel like I need a few little pine trees up here that are a little taller, like this. There we go. Just put another one in here somehow. There's another little pine tree back there. Put a little bit of snow on him. So anyway, that was, um, it's funny. It just after when Cinnamon's dad and I were first married, we met in Aspen, Colorado, and skied every day till Cinnamon was, in the wintertime till Cinnamon was about 6, and then we moved to California and never haven't skied since. Her dad, I guess, used to go back skiing, but I have not skied since. Here's a little of this mixing white. It won't be as bright if I put it on here. Now that's another trick too, is that translucent white. If you need to lighten a tree, it will be slightly less bright. See, it's less bright than this other. There you go, like that. Kind of lighten that tree. And let's take my log here and hold my log up like this. Just a little log going across. And some rocks. Just want these little rocks sticking out of the snow, maybe like this. Okay, there's a little rock sticking out of the snow like this. And then we'll have to put some snow around it. I need the dark, you can see where you need to balance a few things, right? Like, for instance, in this painting, if I bring the color one back, I've got this rock here, this one, some of these others. This one I've kind of buried. Might put one in here like that in the waterfall. And then these rocks around the bank. So they'll have snow on them. You won't see most of these rocks because they would be under snow. But I am going to there was a tree right here, and I am going to put this tree right here like this. And I'll take a little burnt umber and a little bit of purple and burnt sienna and make this dark colored tree. I'm going to put that in there. That's brave, isn't it? I'm going to say here's the trunks coming down like that. There's this tree. So you can't really have just like one tree. Remember there was another one right here. So let's put that coming up here like this. There's that one. I had a tree stump here. I'm not going to put that. And okay, what else? I don't want to put any trees here. I'll tell you what, I might bring this tree down. Oh, I want it darker here. Let's bring this tree down a bit into this area now that I'm thinking about it. We'll put some snow to make that work. Okay, so we'll bring this tree down and have that tree. And yeah, that's kind of cool. And let's see, maybe we want to see what are we going to do about our bank here. So normally this would have to have some snow on it, I'm thinking. See, over this bank here like this. And this rock really doesn't read well anymore. We're going to have to put him back. We had a rock here, but it just doesn't read well. So that didn't work. So we're just going to put him back like this and dry it and come back with plan B. Okay. Yeah, for sure. There you go. Plan B. Because plan A was a failure, an abject failure. All right, let's try everything and we'll go on. But I'm liking it, right? I'm really liking it. I'm thinking this is way cool. Okay. What? The tape, Gorilla Tape. Okay, I'm drawing this picture anyway, so we interrupt this fabulous program to bring you this wonderful infomercial on why you might want to, for sure would want to, absolutely must do, have to, can't wait to, we know all that stuff. Wait to what? Well, I don't know. What are we talking about this time? What do we want everybody should want to do? They should all want to become members of our acrylic painting club on Facebook. For sure. If you're not a member, come join. It's free. Good place to show us your artwork. And you're going to find out the latest stuff John and I are up to. Those Facebook club members were the first ones to know John and I got engaged, yeah, and even saw a video. I mean, we do some great stuff on Facebook, and we love it if you want to participate and hang in there with us. Come join our merry band of artists. And you might even want to have one of these t-shirts to show you're a member. Okay, I'm going to turn this sideways now because I want to do something with this tree. I want to get a little bit of yellow oxide and burnt sienna. And I want to lighten up this tree right here with a little white maybe. Here, let's start that one. Here we go. There we go. See, wherever there's a light, there's a dark. So you got to have some reason. We're going to say, here's this light part of this tree here. Coming up this way. How'd that work? Oh yeah, that worked just fine. All right, and I'm going to do the same thing on this one. I'm going to say there's our light tree going up. Okay, yeah, like that. And I think I want to suggest that there might be a tree trunk on here a little bit, so maybe I'll put my trunk back on this tree in a couple places. Now see what else can I do. Oh yeah, I want some snow on top of this one, so I'm gonna have to change let's put the purple up here like that. And then see where we are with some white snow on top of that rock. I think we'll do like white snow. Just because I have to have some contrast here, okay? There you go. And then we're going to say the snow fell this part. If you leave some of the rock showing, then it's going to read like a rock. If you cover it all up, it won't. Does this make sense? Yes and yes? So that's like this. We're going to leave some of this rock showing. Here's a little snow on this rock. Here you go. Sound effects are always good. Same thing here. We're going to leave a little snow showing, little rock underneath, and oh, that's great. Now let's pull some light coming down here like that. And oh yeah, we need some branches and stuff. Okay, so we got to have some snow on the got to have some snow on the branches here coming up like this. And notice where I'm holding the brush too, how close I am to it, and I'm just tapping this up here. And I want to say that there's a branch coming out here like this. And I'm just using the angle brush. Now look here, I'm just touching it. I don't have to draw the line. I'm just touching it. And you want to avoid spaghetti branches. You know what I mean? So if you do something like this, you're much less likely to have that happen. Okay. All right, there's that nice wintry tree. How about this one? Shall we pull something on this one too? Here, let's do a little bit of snow on the top of this log, like that, a little bit more white. Okay. Wintry tree, like that. Let's see, let's make that a little bit less bright. Here we go. Okay, so far so good. Well, now, design-wise, this dark thing bothers me a little bit, so let's break that up, this rock up a little bit like that. There we go, just do something like this. There you go, broke that rock up. I feel like, even though in this picture, let's just kind of see where we are. In this picture, we had this sort of light coming around here like that. Maybe I don't have enough of that right here under this rock. So now I'm kind of looking at both, see? Isn't that interesting? How we've changed it? We used the same design. Let's take a little bit of this mixing white and that. Oh, I'm all out of that color, that transparent. This is the Holbein's Quazo Gold. This is the Azo Gold from Golden. You want to see the difference in case there's a slight color difference? I can do that too. Here it is. This is the it's not quite as bright, but that'll be all right. So we're going to come around here like this in our water, like that. See, now we've here, and wherever there's a light, there's a dark. So if we did that with the purple, let's bring some real light over here with that. Let's bring something light over around this area here like that. Trying to think of where I want the light to come. Now in the other picture, I think I want it to pile off here like that. Just bring it on out this way. Let's see, make this a little darker here. Okay, so far so good. And then let's make this a little darker over here in a couple places. Right, maybe by this rock, like that. Kind of try to balance some of this out. You know what I'm doing is I'm talking to you, which I feel like you're all my friends here, just hanging out with me while I design this painting. You can kind of see how I'm doing it. What I'm doing is I'm trying to balance the light up here with the dark back there, okay? And then this one had these nifty little sparkly things in the water, which we might put in too, which for sure we should put those in. And I feel like our snow ought to be a little bit lighter here, our purple snow that I said we put on the water. So maybe on the water's edge, we'll put this purple snow. There we go, just saying there's some snow and a little bit different. There's a little magenta and alizarin crimson. And let's warm this up a bit. Will that make a difference? A little bit. How about up in here? Put a little of this color up here. No, don't like that. Still got to be white up here. Okay. So basically, I had in this picture, I had a little bit of light here. So I'm just going to see what happens if I add a little bit more light to this bank. Here like that. Okay, so that brought kind of some light forward, kind of balanced some light. I think I'm about done, you guys. I had another tree over here, but I've substituted the pine trees. Oh yeah, we got to put the snow back for the pine trees that we said we brought down here. I'm going to bring this pine tree down. Okay, that worked. I don't like this one. Huh. I mean, I really just go beyond not liking that pine tree. I just really pretty much dislike it a lot. So now what to do? What to do? All right, so if you had sent me this painting, I'd go, yeah, okay, I like it, but what happened to this one? So you know what? you know, this is so crazy. What happened to this one? I don't know what happened to this one, but let's, when in doubt, take it out. So let's take a little bit of white and yellow oxide, because that'll be pretty opaque. And let's make this a little smaller. Let's just make this pine tree a little smaller. Let's see, a little bit of this gold color and a little bit of mixing white. Let's see if we can erase this. Let's see if we can pull this pine tree back out of here. What's better? Let's go across here. I know what let's do. Let's do this. Oh yeah, let's do that for sure. Let's do this going across here like that. So let's not talk about this one anymore. There, all right, so that one's gone. That's better. Him gone. Let's see, how about here? Let's get this one gone. Maybe we'll make you bigger. Yeah, what if we said you were, what if we said you were there like that? Yeah, that works. What if we said you came out like this? We had something coming out like this. Okay, so we did something real dark here at the base here. Let's put some dark back. Okay, that's better. You know, it would be cute. It wasn't in the other picture. We can stop now. I think let's see. Now, where this one happened is let's put a rock here, because otherwise we're not sure why this pine tree is there. Let's put a rock there. Let's see what happened there. Let's get another rock on top of this guy here. There. Okay, so because I had a little trouble with this log, and then it's too long. Let's put our stream through here. So our stream is running down here like this, and put a little color right here with our stream. And now let's end our log here. Maybe we'll have a branch coming up here like that. We could do that. Just paint on one side of the brush. And we'll pull this down here like this so that you see it's a log. That reads better like a log, doesn't it now? Okay. All right, now what I want to do next is, I think that works for me. It does. Let's see, what can we do with the little tiny bits of light around this, right around here like this, where the water's coming down, kind of boiling in here. And then we're going to take our dot of the brush, just a few little dots on here. Little sparklies. Okay. Little sparklies in the water like we had in the other one. Got to be pretty tiny though. Okay. All right, now this is dry, so I really prefer this color to that other one. So I'm going to glaze this back, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Glazing is where you have like a tea stain. You take just water. See, my eye goes to the lightest light and the darkest dark. And where's it going? Right to that tree, right? I mean, that's where you're just stuck there. So if you take a little bit of water and paint, you can glaze over stuff. I like that. Maybe I'll glaze over some of this here too. Let's just, if this is dry, that that's our robot that likes to talk to us. Don't you like? I hope if you don't have one of those robots, I'm not going to mention names because once you give them they'll take a mile. You know what I'm saying? You know who I'm talking about too. All right, so let's pull this branch up here a little bit more. Okay. There's this tree. Here's our. I have to say that this was a fun. Come on, this was absolutely fun, wasn't it? And what a different way to paint something. Yeah? Yes and yes. Now, could we make this lighter here? Let's take a little of this color in the zinc white, which we're all out of. And let's see, could we lighten up this at all? Yeah, I just feel like it needed to be a bit lighter up in here to make this work. Okay. And let's make this a bit lighter. Let's take this pine tree. I'm all out of zinc white, and I'm almost done, but I'm going to put a little more out because I want to lighten that tree. And I want to start bringing that light forward. But there's a little bit of that left here. Okay. I want to start bringing, I want a light purple with this. A little bit of a light purple. And I want to say that this is lighter. Remember, acrylics dry darker. So here's a little bit of light purple. Here we go. Maybe a little bit of titanium because it's going to be lighter here where it's catching the light from the backlit from this the sun kind of backlighting the picture. Okay, so it's got to be a little bit brighter. And put a little bit of light right there behind that tree. Bring that up there like this. Okay, so let's try again. Okay, there you go. There's some light back there coming this way. Then we said there was a little bit more light coming this way. So it's into the white now. On here. And we got a little bit of the dark purple. A little bit of a kind of a blue purple color in here. Just kind of darken this up in here just a bit on part of this. And then let's just make this corner dark. We didn't finish that. And that dark color here, let's pull that up here like this. Not talk so much about this corner either. Okay. And then part of me wants to put right there a little tiny house or cabin or something, but I'm not gonna. I'm just saying I could see where you would want to do that. And I promise you, we're not gonna do it. Just I could see how the temptation, it's dead center, so you wouldn't want to do it. But I know you want to throw deer or something in here like that. Let's putting in a few little weeds that might be growing. Kind of break up this line here on that tree. This is not so much. All right, this was fun, right? With a little bit of pink and everything. Yes and yes. All right, I'm signing it. I think. Oh wait, except for this up here. That's too bright. My eyes. Is your eye not going right off the top of the canvas right there? Let me show you what happens when we just tone that down. There we go. Okay, so there. And I just feel like, should I make this any lighter here? If I did, it would have to be pure zinc white. Right in here like this. Let's see what would happen if we did that. Remember the other one we had something like that. Just a little bit of zinc white. Yeah, just a little bit. Here we go. All right. Well, this, you guys, is exactly how uh, my log. Um, you change a summer painting or a fall painting into a winter one. And I think that is way fun. And I hope you did too. If I spent more than an hour thinking about it, I might come up with something else too. You've got a little time, think about it. You know, remember, let's just stop a minute. I think this is fun. Here we are. Here's our black and white, and with the light coming through, and then here's our picture with all this color coming through, and our trees. What? You're back out. Yeah. So here's our black and white, and then back it up. Here we go. Can you see that? Yeah. Where we've really created it. But if we had left it, I'm going to put the other picture next to it right now. Okay? You see the difference? Um, of the two, I like this better. But uh, different moods, and it just depends on maybe you're not a purple person, right? We talk about sock folders, and then there's purple people. We haven't even gone into that, right? Are you a purple person? And you may be, and if you're a purple person, then of course you're going to have a different viewpoint. But this is definitely a painting for a purple person. Let's sign it. And I'm telling you what, I'm so happy with this. I hope you are too. I had a lot of fun painting it. Where's the Posca pen? I'm signing it, man. I'm signing it right here. And I'm still going to put a few little these dot sparkly things in the water. There we go. Cook. It's been signed. I still like these pens though for detail. Can't beat a Posca pen for small detail when you want to get something like that going on your, so this stuff is great. So there we go. What a wonderful way to learn to paint. And if you really are serious about turning your life around as far as your artistic skills go, and really, really getting down to the nitty gritty of painting, I'd like you to visit our website, gingercooklive.gallery. We've got this one-on-one painting that we do with you where I'm talking into the camera. We're just focusing on whatever we're doing. Sometimes you'll get a few of these fun stories like I like to tell. But we take you from beginner, never painted, up to really advanced stuff. And I'm so amazed that the members of our academy in a couple of years they're selling their artwork, they're in shows, they're winning shows, they're doing all kinds of amazing things, and just some of them just having a good time because of our art academy and the acrylic training that you get. So gingercooklive.gallery. And incidentally, if you didn't do it at the beginning, now's the time to subscribe. Thanks so much.